It's like this little dirty little bass line.
I don't fucking care. Can we move on to a new segment, please?
Yeah!
Welcome to Just Two Fans, a sports show about sports,
Obviously.
about life,
Because sports are life.
and about just whatever the hell we feel like talking about. So, let's go.
This time, so we didn't have any of those follies. So things are looking up.
Awesome. And joining us as always is super producer Cam. Say hi, Cameron.
Hi, Cameron. Not to start this off poorly, but they may have missed the first 15 seconds. I'm just saying
Nice.
of audio. So
That's okay.
that's why we're a podcast where a stream's second or fifth. It really depends on the day.
Well, welcome to the Just Two Fans podcast. I'm Jamie Friedlander. Eli Johnson will be joining us shortly. Chris Burkhardt's joining us again this week, frequent guest, and then super producer Cameron was there introducing the fact that you missed the first 15 seconds of audio.
Some things never change.
It wouldn't be this show if we weren't having some issues.
At least it was because this week was just chaos and getting ready. Like the
Yeah.
10
Oh
minutes
yeah.
before
100%.
start, it was all thrown at me. So
100%. But that's how it goes.
Yep.
We live and we learn. That's how it goes. This week, we've got a special guest joining us, producer at EA, Torsten Staley, is joining the show to talk about the most anticipated video game in my lifetime, which is College Football 25. Torsten, how we doing?
We're good. Thanks for having me. This is appearance 2 now on this podcast.
That's true.
I mean, there was the Commissioners of Sports Movies. I don't know if we consider that the same podcast, but
it's the same podcast under, we haven't done
it's
that
in the
a
same
couple
feed.
years.
It's in the same feed.
that was like the legacy tracks of this podcast.
No, it's good to be back. Thanks for having me back, boys.
Yeah,
It's good to
thanks
see you
for
as always.
joining us. Let's just jump right into it. As I teased there, I've been looking like this video game obviously has been gone since 2014. It's a game that I played religiously. I think we all played religiously all through college, high school, whatever it was. And to see it go really sucked. Now that it's coming back, there's so much hype around it. Why don't you tell us what your role has been in this game and kind of how it's all gone for you?
Yeah, no. So as you guys know, I've been working at EA now for it's about 9 years, and I started I started in the recruiting department. And my first real impact on this game was recruiting for this game. I was hiring people for this game, designers, producers, art directors, creative directors, all sorts of folks. If you guys remember I think it was the COVID Civil War. I think we were all watching it. And I think I shared with you guys a couple weeks later that we had just hired our art director during the COVID Civil War, like right around that time, which is just, yeah. So like a lot of things have been happening for a while with there. I went on through this recruiting journey. I was trying to look for, what's the next thing for me. My current boss reached out and was like, hey, have you thought about joining us on college? And I was like, that's something I hadn't even thought of. So went through a few interviews, few steps, processes, and all of a sudden I was a producer on college football due to familiarity with the product, passion for the sport, knew the inner workings of the team. Hell, I'd hired I think about 10 to 15 people of the team, which was fun to see. So that was a big part of it. And then it's just been a roller coaster since then. That was August 2021. And here we are in July of 2024, and you'll be able to, if you have early access, you'll be able to play the game by this time next week. So it's a pretty crazy thing to be at where we are now.
It can't come soon enough. And pre-show, Torsten was casually asking Chris and I for defense play calls and giving us shit when our play calls didn't work out in the game that we are talking about playing right now. Just the ultimate tease.
It was
I mean, if
demoralizing to watch him just look off screen. I'm like, hey, you guys want me to run cover 1 or 10?
cover 3,
Two?"
cover 6, one cover
You can
1,
tell
cover
he has
2.
a controller, and it's like this is brutal.
I mean, yeah, listen, when you can do it, you do it, right? You should have some fun with it at the same time. But you're going to be playing it before too long. Don't you worry. I think you're going to be pretty happy with what we got.
Based on everything I've seen, which all the hype around this and all the marketing efforts that you guys are doing with the deep dives and all that stuff is pretty incredible. But the one that just came out, what was it, late last week, the gameplay, really
one with Donovan.
Yeah, the one with Donovan.
Yeah, on Monday. Yeah,
really just kind of solidified for me. Like, everybody was worried when this came out, especially Eli. Like, if you've listened to the show, we were worried about the fact that EA likes to sometimes take shortcuts, and making this a Madden reskin was what we were worried about. I would, as soon as we saw that gameplay trailer, all of those, and we're not alone, right? Everybody, like, if you looked at the chat boards when this game was announced, they're like, it's just going to be a Madden reskin. Don't do a Madden reskin. None of that. As soon as I saw that gameplay, I was like, this is nothing like any football game that I've seen.
We from day one, that's been the goal. We knew that's what people are going to be saying, and we knew that we had hurdles to get over with getting through to that. And so from day one, it was, okay, so just to give you a little insight, I work on the presentation team. So my whole area, my whole focus, and we'll get into what my specific focus is later, I'm sure, but like my whole area on presentation is, what does it look like? What are you seeing? What are you actually enjoying the game, from the crowd to cheerleaders to the menus, everything as far as what's there. Okay. And from day one, it was, okay, that's a Madden look. I don't want to, pardon my language, I don't want to see that. I don't want to fucking see that. Like, I want this be as different as possible. We respect Madden. We love Madden. Madden is what makes our studio and made our studio for as prevalent as long as we've been around. But we need to be able to make our own game. And that's been the biggest point of this. So let's make our own game. Let's make our own experience. And I'm glad that people saw that with the presentation that Donovan and Bordeaux did on Monday. Because from day one, when we first really started playing, the thing that really caught me, and I think people were really seeing that in the video, was how fast our game is and how fast the gameplay is. And the game moves like that. It is not something slow. It is not something plotting. You are in and out of plays. You are in and out of runs. The thing moves. And I think that really sets us apart from Madden. And people can play Madden and have that experience and enjoy that experience, which people still do and people do in droves. But now we have another option that people can really come out and really enjoy on the college football side, something a little bit different. It's going to make them really have to think about how they play the game a little bit differently.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing that struck me in the gameplay trailer the most was it looked like, especially visually, and you're in presentation, so I'm sure you'll like to hear this, but there's a really nice balance that I saw between the realism aspect of football and the like arcade style game that like Madden is and the old college football games was. Was that like an intentional balance that you guys were trying to strike? Because that was like the first thing that really stuck out to me.
I mean, our studio is known for making realistic video games. So like we stick to the realism as much as we can. But that doesn't mean we can't have fun and screw around with things. Like I think a great example of what you're talking about, the arcade side of things, is I don't think you guys are going to understand and are going to get enamored with the fact that you have the entire route tree available to you when you're at the line. I put up something on Instagram I think yesterday or 2 days ago, I literally have had delay of games. I've had to call timeouts because I get so distracted by, okay, what route tree do I want to run? Who do I want to send my X to? Do I want to send my Y to? Do I want to send Tez on a post? Do I want to send Evan on a curl? Like all this sort of stuff. So, and then I'll tell you right now, the Texas route, that halfback angle, that's my go-to. And like I fucking love that route. I will
It's the
send
best
Jordan
route
on that.
in any game.
There he is.
There's my boy. If Noah's in the game, and I will throw him on that at all times because that boy can go. And so it is a fun it's a fun experience for sure. And when you have that there, I think that steers into that arcadey side that you're talking about a little bit there, Jamie, because you can be super realistic and have it be, oh, you only have certain route trees available to you because you don't know anything. Guess what? Screw that. You can be a freshman in college, full route trees available to you, and you can audible out of it and you can do whatever you need to it when you're there.
It's super cool. I mean, the whole thing, just everything about what I saw in that was what I was hoping this game would be. So I can't wait to get my hands on this game. It's gonna be I can't wait. And of course, I have the early release. I have all of it, and I'm gonna not be at my house next Tuesday. So
that's just called poor planning.
Okay. So I had planned this trip before you guys released had a release date. All right.
Good point.
So,
We've been playing. We've been keeping that.
Torsten.
We've been keeping that pretty close to the chest. I don't think I can tell you how just locked down this whole experience has been. Like,
wait, I have a question. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Go right ahead.
Have you guys done beer of the week and I missed it?
no,
we have not. We waited for you.
What are we doing?
We were waiting for you.
Okay, I appreciate that. Can you guys want to do it real quick, or Torsten, I'll let you finish your thought, and then we'll do beer of the week.
All I was going to say is you have no idea how locked down this game has been. Like,
it's been
maximum security, secrecy as much as possible, and but we're literally scrolling Twitter almost every day just to make sure to see what potentially has come out, if any links have come out. Now it's like all over the place, but like a year ago we were scrolling that thing every day just to see what it was.
It's been very impressive, right? Because like Eli's been messaging you for a year saying, is this game gonna suck? Like
Look, man, this is a significant investment in this game, all right?
Yeah. I mean, so
I'm trying to make sure I'm getting my money's worth, all right?
I mean, the fact that we didn't even even in your first deep dives the last like 3 weeks, we saw what looked like animations, but it wasn't like there was snippets of true gameplay, but we didn't even really see full gameplay until Monday, which is crazy.
We kind of did it that way because we wanted one, you want the most curated experiences you can get, but two, you also want to sorry, I'm moving my camera around, so I'm actually like looking at you guys and not just like staring like in the corner here. We want to make sure that we're showing the best product that we possibly can, but two, we need to slow drip this. The slow drip is good. The slow drip works. And so, yeah, it's fun for us. It's fun to see the crowd reaction. It's fun to see the community react to it. And then when you have a 21-minute deep dive like we did on Monday, and it's literally nothing but just W's in the chat, it's worth every minute of it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, total dubs. All right, let's do it. We're talking about college football. We haven't had this game in a decade since we were all in college. So in honor of college days, we're going to bring back a one-time experience, beer of the week.
Beer of the week. Yeah.
See, we still got it.
Still got it. You guys still got it. That's good.
Still
That's
in
good.
there.
First.
Eli, why don't you go first since you joined us
'cause-
late?
Yeah, I joined us late. I'm bringing out the Breakside Splendorous Northwest Hops Indian Pale Ale. It's got a cool logo on
That's a sick can.
That's a badass
That's why I
can.
got it. It was the coolest can in the fridge. So I was like, yeah, this is going in my tummy.
Yeah, that's how you know it's good.
Yeah, here we go. Little ASMR for the first time in a while.
Man,
Solid ASMR.
got some spray too.
Yeah, I got on my head, new glasses.
Cameron, I'm still here. I'm just doing one thing. I don't want to show the world my ass.
I mean, this could turn into a very different podcast.
That's really good. Granted, I haven't really been drinking a whole lot of beer over the last year. Really smooth, really nice. I've lost a lot of my palate, so I couldn't give you any tasting notes. It's tasty. It's refreshing. Call it good.
Nice. Nice.
I'm gonna give it 4 stars.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I also haven't been drinking a ton of beer, and I did not have a chance to go out and get one today. So this is one that was left in my house from Cameron last week. I know it was. I knew I had a couple beers in the tank, so I could figure it out. But I have the Breckenridge Brewery Vanilla Porter. Not exactly what I would pick in the summer, but apparently it's what Cameron picked. So here's the ASMR.
Solid.
Oh, good one.
I feel like stouts always give the best ones.
They really do. All right.
As you're about to drink that, I don't know how old it is.
Dude, you've been holding that one in the chamber since we started.
Man, like as I'm sipping it.
You gotta think, it came out of my mom's fridge, and she hasn't had anything to drink since September.
We have a question in the chat: when the embargo drop? Does anybody understand that question?
Embargo on what?
Yeah, we need a little more.
Yeah,
Ace the Ace 10 ounce. We need a little.
Probably
Well, it's got to be something about the game, but
something about the game, but everything we're talking about is
already out.
already out. So yeah, you're not missing anything.
Back to the vanilla porter. It's pretty good. So Cameron, it's not like soured. Now that you said it, I can definitely tell that it's not exactly fresh.
I'm so glad I waited.
I just have a picture of Cameron being like, I'm gonna go to Jamie's tonight. I need to get rid of this beer. It's just been sitting in my fridge.
Oh,
for
this
a
is
year and a
mom.
half.
His mom brought it, but still.
Yeah, but it was like, I don't want to drink it. I'm just gonna get rid of it. I'm dropping it at Jamie's house and not
God
drinking
damn it.
any
Like
of
I was gonna rush out and go get a beer, but I just grabbed this. Damn it.
Perfect.
We may have to do another beer in the week later just so I can redeem myself. So since this is old, it's getting like a 2 out of 10. I like this beer a lot. So like normally, especially in the winter, it's probably a 4, but thanks, Cameron.
You're welcome, Jamie. Be prepared.
That's fair. I deserve that. Torsten, you're the guest. Why don't you go next since Chris decides to
Sure.
show up once every 4 months?
So I don't have a can, so I'll give you some fake ASMRs. But what I do have
Oh, I
is
got you
a
covered on that.
Seattle Supersonics glass.
Nice.
Shout out to our Sonics. Save our Sonics, everybody. This is a destination IPA from the New York Beer Project, where I host trivia on Tuesdays.
Nice.
Nice.
So it's very. Let's give you a little sippy sip. All
Let
right.
me give you a little ASMR. Pretend like you're
Okay.
opening a can. Ready?
Perfect. Oh, that's good. It's hoppy, citrusy, refreshing. That's a 4.5 out of 5.
Nice.
That's good. That's real good.
All right, Chris, what you got?
In true beer of the week fashion, a beer that I've never had before, the Grains of Wrath. And I bought this specifically for this episode since we're, everyone here, we're all ducks. Most of us have our duck gear on or our stuff somewhere. I felt that one called Built for Speed was very fitting of an Oregon Duck crew. So
That's
Built
good.
for Speed,
That's good.
the West Coast IPA.
Solid.
Fastest 2 wide receivers in the game are both Oregon
Speed.
receivers.
Built
So
for
there you go.
Speed.
Nice. Tez and who?
Evan.
Evan.
Hey, it's
I didn't realize
delicious.
Evan was a speedster. I thought he was.
Oh, yeah.
Now
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
he's a blazer.
It is delicious, but just because I never get to see Torsten and I'm back on the pod with you guys. This is like a 6 out of 5. Just because of
Oh
Good day.
damn!
Good day.
Props.
All right, Cameron, what you got?
I have
Besides-
something.
Expired vanilla porter from Breckenridge Brewery.
Yummy.
Nope, left that at your house. I have a fantastic beer from one of my favorite curators. It's a little place called Golf Bag.
Of course, right. It's a Coors Light.
It's Michelob Ultra.
Oh dang!
It's solid. That's solid.
I also have a spiked Arnold Palmer just in case I'm feeling a little saucy, but
See, I have
Ooh.
an athletic beer, but I figured NA beers were
dude,
frowned upon.
No, Athletic has like gotten me through so many like bar stuff where like we're out.
Oh
at
yeah,
bars and it's,
it's fantastic. Don't get me
it's the
wrong. I'm not
best.
hating on it. Just for beer of the week, it didn't
Yeah.
feel.
Athletic and Liquid Death are like the two things I just
Mm.
like. That's what I order at a bar. Like if we're all out for drinks or something, I'll order them in a bar. It's the best.
yep.
Nice.
Makes me still feel like I'm fitting in.
All right, let's get back to some
Yes.
CFB25 talk.
Oh, okay. So I haven't got to say my piece on this because I came in late.
Let's hear it.
I'm so excited. Like Torsten knows more than most people how skeptical I was of this game. Because I was just like, my biggest fear is like, and it wasn't like you guys, it was like the corporation coming in and not giving you the freedom to be a fan of college football while also putting.
Oh no,
Oh, we lost Eli.
he froze.
EA went and got him.
Apparently the embargo is still there
That's pretty funny.
they're coming for us one at a time.
They're coming for him.
Hey, I would say on that note, what he's talking about though, like, so for the last, I would say probably 2 years solid, I've been doing the college football revamped, right? Like going in, modding it on my PC. I know EA went in and scooped up some of the people who've been working on that. And a lot of studios would see that type of community and just say, yeah, we're gonna stomp that one out, and you can't be doing that to our property. But EA, from the outside, really saw the love and passion that people had for that game, didn't stomp it out, kind of embraced it. I mean, that's exactly what you're doing when you're taking people from that and they're showing that, hey, we see the work you guys are doing on a 10-year-old game, and we're going to put that same love into this, to the point Eli was making. And for me, that gets me excited for sure.
So there are, I want to say at least 10 people on the team currently that were on NCAA 14.
Wow.
And none of them wanted to stop making NCAA. Nobody wanted to make stuff. EA didn't want to stop making NCAA.
Yeah.
But certain outside forces forced our hand. We were actually one of the first companies out there to go, we'll pay the players. Like, we have no issue with that. Back when this all came together, but the NCAA wouldn't allow us to. And that was the blocker on that. I'm sure that was the first years of the Emirate years, that wonderful University of Washington graduate that was the president of the NCAA for so long. But we tried to keep the game going. And everybody that worked on that game, the last few versions of the game, was working on Madden. They were working on NBA Live. There were some of them working at mobile. They were all spread out. And then when the game really started to come back together, it was like, let's get the band back together in terms of those people that were still around. So like my boss worked on the last, I think, 5 or 6 years of NCAA. Our principal game designer worked on, I think, 10 to 12 years of NCAA. Our lead on presentation worked on the last couple of years of NCAA. One of our leads in UX. So like they were working in very junior and not necessarily entry level roles when NCAA first came. And now they've got 10 years of experience. They're coming back and they're like, okay, we're going to take all this experience that we have and we're going to make an amazing product that's different than anything else that we've done in Tiburon for a while. And there's a lot of excitement from them, first and foremost. Then to speak to the revamp piece of it, I think there's 4 or 5 guys that we've pulled directly from revamp. Chad, Thomas, Sam, trying to think of the other guys. What's fun about Sam is Sam was actually one of the very first hires I brought into college football, and Sam's working in the UX space. All of your menus, that's Sam. All of your a lot of your PIP, that's Sam. A lot of he has fingerprints all over this damn thing. And shout out to the Bell, shout out to Slab. He's the GOAT. He's fantastic at what he's doing.
It's off the cuff question here. Was there any moment where you're like, this game's not gonna be what we want it to be? Or what was it always? Was the vision always there that you knew that it was going to end up being a great product? But was there ever a moment where you're just like, oh no.
The vision was always there. The vision was always there. And we knew we had a great product. We knew we had a great idea. We knew we had a great blueprint. We just needed the time to get it done. And I can't thank our studio and our leadership more for giving us that time to do it. And like, you're going to see in a week, like what you're seeing now, like we were supposed to come out last year, and that extra year bought us the time to make it the game we wanted to make. And awesome. So kudos to everybody for making that happen, because one of the big messages around our team, we've had a lot of like really fundamental messages for our team. And one of the big ones has always been, you only have one chance to make a first impression. And that's been a big one for us in making sure that, CFB25 is something that everyone can love and appreciate.
So on that line, with how long this took and how long you guys have been in the process of making this, what was the most challenging thing that you guys had to overcome?
How many NFL teams are there?
32.
I got 134. I got 150 some stadiums. I've got hundreds of uniforms. I've got 180 songs in game. I've got 2 commentary teams, which has never been done in an American football game before. I've got I got an updated number. I've got 70,000 lines of commentary. It's just numbers. It's pure numbers. Now, when Madden shifted to Brandon and Charles, the current commentary teams that they have, they did an amazing commentary update for that. Like this is about on par of what they did, but it's 32 teams. I've got 134. I've got 134 unique stadiums. I've got bowl game stadiums. I've got neutral site stadiums. I've got a college football playoff that, by the way, we had to change this year because
that's right. What a pivot that was, huh?
Yeah, that was real fun when that came through. There's a guy on our team. So there was that. There was also Oregon and Washington moving. There was also all of the other schools moving. We've been living. So you guys talk all the time about there's this constant flux of college football and the winds of change are going. You guys talk about it. Every podcast talks about it. We are living it because we have to make the game that reflects it. The most recent one, by the way, there's a 2-minute warning now in college football. I had to bring in commentary just to record 2-minute warning stuff because we need that for our game. So that was one of the very last sessions that we did was 2-minute warning for commentary. So but we got to have it because it's part of the game. We need that experience in there.
Yeah. So you brought in commentary. Did you get to work with Kirk?
I am working with Herb Street and Fowler and Reese, David, Jesse, Kevin Connors.
That's awesome.
All of them.
How is that? Are you fanboying?
It is a fun experience. I will say that it is a fun experience because these guys are true professionals. They are very excited about this game. They are very excited about this. Like from day one, it has been, what can we do to make sure this is working? Did that sound good enough? Do we need to do it again? And the proof's in the product. They did an absolute outstanding job. And we have this great balance of, we get Chris and Kirk for what your typical game of the week stuff is. And then you get Reese, David, and Jesse for if it's Oregon versus, Oregon Boise State, it's going to be a Reese, David, Jesse game. Oregon, Ohio State, that's going to be a Chris and Kirk game. It's that type of stuff. It's going to be real fun. But to get that mix and match through the season as you go, is really, really interesting. And then if you choose a team like a Troy or a UL Monroe or a Raging Cajuns, you may only hear Chris and Kirk once you get to the playoff or you get to the conference championship, just because of the way the game goes. Because unfortunately, Louisiana Lafayette versus UTSA isn't going to be a game of the week unless UTSA is also a highly ranked team. So there's a lot of flex that goes with that. But yeah, it's working with those guys has been a lot of fun. It's been a real pleasure.
Yeah. I saw like I don't know if you'd call it an expose, but like a long segment on Chris Fowler and like how he hosts game day, college game day, and
He used
I
to.
don't-
He used
yeah,
to.
when,
host
when
Game
he
Day.
used to, yeah. How he hosted College Game Day back in the day. I would confuse myself. And like it was just like it was like 30 journalists doing interviews of like every like like all the chatter in his earpiece that they would have too. They would be so distracted by it, but like mid sentence he would be able to like incorporate whatever they were saying, like and like be able to turn and like make it look effortless. And it's like you just like unbelievable. I think a lot of people like underestimate that kind of poise and
Fowler. And Fowler's talked about this openly. He is very, very like conscientious of making sure this game is as good as it possibly is. Like we did a bunch of recordings with him, and we finally had enough content that we were able to kind of go, let's watch a half. So we literally just we're in a session, and we had recorded a half, we watched a half, and he couldn't get past the very first play of the game, which was it was Michigan Ohio State, and we had a touchdown throw on the very first throw, and he was like, that wasn't good enough. So like we literally went back and like re-recorded a bunch of stuff to bring in the intensity, bring up the excitement that he get, and like it's paid off. Like he really went for bat for all that. And I will tell you on the other side with Reese is a card, man. Like he is a blast. He has tons of just crazy stuff that you're going to hear in there. Like one of my favorite clips is in the Dynasty deep dive right now, where they show Kennesaw State, the who gives a hoot, the Owls do, it's a touchdown. That's fully him improvising that, and he just went off on that, which is just fantastic.
That's awesome.
That's so cool that you guys gave them that platform and that they just ran with it. It's just awesome.
No, it's all kudos to them. Like this is they've busted their ass for this, and we couldn't be more proud of them, and we were really excited to have the world see what they've been able to do.
That is, yeah, it's awesome. I will say, so the one thing that has come out that probably got the most backlash is the toughest places to play rankings. That list. I don't know if you had anything to do with that list.
Okay.
But it is hot garbage.
I know of this list. I've seen this list. The best thing I will say is everything is subject to change. And
that's good.
We're aware of everything going on there. We're aware of the public perception. And sometimes it's just fun to get everyone riled up a little bit. So
here, for an executive producer credit, can I tell you how I would do it?
Oh, please share on this open platform that everybody can hear.
Yeah. So the way I would do it is
as he fixes his glasses.
I was thinking about this a lot the other day because I was like, I don't think like win-loss record at home is like necessarily a super valid stat for how tough it is to play somewhere. Because like we talked about like Alabama, like yeah, they don't lose at home, but it's fucking Alabama. It's not like they don't lose on the road either.
Yep.
Right. Like actually, over the last few years, they've lost at home more than they've lost on the road. But Alabama
road trips can galvanize a team like Alabama. Absolutely, I get it.
And so my thought on how you can measure that is teams' performances in the stadium versus their averages. Right. So like if a team if teams are consistently underperforming in a stadium that they go to, like the visiting team they're usually putting up, let's say like an average between all the teams, like 35 points, giving up 10, right? Like this, or let's say 21, right? But they come in to Bryant-Denny and this is mostly consistent teams. There's like a 30% drop off in production from team to team each time they come to play at Bryant-Denny. Then you have a pretty nice statistic on like how hard it is to actually play there. Right. Versus playing on the road. And like you can also do that with the home teams, right? And like how well they play at home versus on the road.
Yeah.
I'll take my executive producer credit. Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Yeah, no, I think that everything that we do needs to be set in some sort of data-driven setup. And the first rankings, the first setup of toughest place to play was that. we're aware that maybe some stuff was a little wonky with that. So we're going to, like I said, everything is subject to change. We're going to take a look at it.
Can you tell us how that was calculated initially?
I can't tell you how it was calculated. That stuff
Okay.
that we do kind of keep pretty close to chest. But what I can tell you is that, it's everything's subject to change. We can look at it. We can take a look at what's going on. Because when we put it out there, even members of the dev team are like, that's not what it should be. But that's a mark on us. Like, that's a mark on us. So we have to go in and we have to try to find out the best way to do it. But what does work is it gets you guys riled up. It gets you guys fired up, and it gets you talking about our game, which honestly, we want you talking about our game. We want you excited for the game. We hope that something like this does get you excited for the game, because it gets you thinking about it in the middle of June when, there's not a whole lot of college football going on. But guess what? I feel like the season's coming a lot faster right now because we are looking forward to this game.
Torsten, I hate to break it to you. I've been thinking about this game for 10 years. So, don't think that some dumb list on Instagram is all of a sudden going to make me start thinking about this game. All right, I've been yearning for this game for 10 goddamn years.
All I'm saying is the
I've
season. This coming season seems to be coming faster than other seasons, just because this game is going to be right smack dab in the middle of this dry spell that we have called the off season.
Ugh, I hate the off season.
At least we got the Olympics.
It is making the off season a lot
Eli,
easier.
a ghost just left your room. That was terrifying. I don't know if anyone else saw that. It was
I tricked a girl into liking me.
Oh no, I still can't figure this one out. I still say she's some sort of kidnap victim. So I'm still working on that.
Let's not just throw allegations on me.
Yeah,
let's not do that.
That's not going to make the YouTube video. Gonna have to cut that part out.
Here's a question. I want to know if perhaps you were selfish enough or considerate enough to perhaps slip the higher ups a recording of the Oregon Fight song that happens to feature the 5 people in this podcast on it, so that without any accreditation needed, we could say, yeah, we're in that game.
No.
Dang it. There was an opportunity there.
But unlike past NCAA games, the break strain's in there. That's never been in there before.
Is schools out for summer in the game? And follow-up question, is it on third down or is it on first down? Because they have changed that.
And the people want to know.
Listen, I noticed that they've been doing a lot of Joker and the Thief on third down. What I can tell you is that we do have something for third down at Oregon. We have something for fourth down at Oregon. If you score a touchdown or an extra point or any sort of big thing, you will hear Mighty Oregon. Extra point, you will get the break strain, which was something I was adamant about. And when I was working with our a ranger on that, he quickly figured out that I had some ties to that. And so when we were in the recording, he literally started the recording with, "All right, guys, this is where Torsten went to school. Don't screw it up. All right." And so there was a lot of laughter and a lot of people screwing it up on purpose. So that was a lot of fun. But no, yeah, you got Mighty Oregon, you got the break strain. I think you'll be very happy. We got don't want to slip that out. We have a lot of cool stuff that you're going to see and hear.
I hate this so much.
Yeah, because now he's doing it to us in public.
I know.
Hey, just real quick, Torsten, because you're
I'm doing it because I don't want to give away everything. And there's some fun to that.
You're going down the route of my next question, and you hinted at it earlier, the slow drip, right? And really, we got gameplay, and you guys have released some stuff, but it feels like you have not even released the tip of the iceberg. It feels like you've kind of released the top of the tip of the iceberg, the beacon, right, that has us all there. And you talk about immersion and the little things you've let slip there. And everyone talks about the authenticity, and that's something that's really been pushed. But again, EA, I think, has played that really close to the vest, only showing little slivers of that authenticity. So what you're allowed to speak on without letting anything slip, could you maybe give us a little bit of a teaser or things that maybe are in this game that we wouldn't expect after playing NCAA 14? Like, wow, that's a level of immersion and authenticity that I didn't think of. And for one thing I hated about NCAA that broke it for me in NCAA 14, I'm like, that is not where the visiting team sits in Autzen Stadium. Why are they on the east side? Like, that is not where they're at. So like little things like that. I don't know if you can speak on that for us.
Don't worry, we fixed that. I made sure of
Good.
that.
Well, thank you.
The biggest thing that I can tell you, and I saw it called out in that gameplay video with Donovan Edwards. Watch the crowd. The crowd, we spent a painstaking amount of time to make sure the crowd is reacting properly, is showcased properly, is diverse enough, looks like an actual college crowd, but also if it's snowing, they're in jackets. If it's raining, they're in raincoats. If it's the military, they're in military uniforms. Like, there's so much attention detail put on the crowd. And then you get into the hero crowd shots, which are those close-up shots, and you got people doing hand signals. Every single hand signal that you could possibly imagine, besides middle fingers and horns down. Like,
I'm a little bummed that horns down's not in the game. I understand, but I wish it was.
But like, the amount of detail that we put into that, like, I obviously I can't show you guys here, but like the amount of databases that we have on hand signals, on props, on touchdown traditions, on turnover traditions, on turnover celebrations. Maybe there's quite a few of there. Maybe
I saw Colorado is the only one to have an exclusive one.
Maybe not. Maybe not there, Eli. Maybe not there. Well, that's an exclusive celebration.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Turnover. Go get some turnovers. Is all I'm going to say. There's a lot of things in there that college football has changed immensely in the 10 years that we've been gone. And so, how do we capture all of that? How do we showcase all that? Turnover Cobra. That wasn't a thing when the game came out before. That happened since then. That's in there. But all the hand symbols I just talked about, turnover traditions, little things that you're going to notice as you go along, from push-up boards to I'm just trying to think of all the different weird shit that's going on. Uniform stuff that we've got. Like, it's an amazing amount of content that's gone into this that you're going to find just little things that's going to make you want to go and see, oh, what's special about Toledo? What's special about Arizona State? What's special about Auburn? What's special about, I don't know, UNL Monroe? What's special about Arkansas State? And go to those places and actually play games there, because then you'll find the little weird different things that really stand out. A cool one is in UTEP. So UTEP, they're obviously, it's in the Sun Bowl, but they have the mountains behind it. If you go at night, if you get the right angle, and it's a hard angle to get, but if you get the right angle, you can see there's actually a lit up letter. I think it's a UT. What's the letter? There's a letter that's, I'll have to look into that. There's a letter that's lit up on the outside on a mountain that, based on the angle that you're looking at, you can actually see it from the stadium. And it's only like at certain angles in particular. So it's fascinating what we've done with all that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
I mean,
real quick. You don't have to answer this, but I'd love it if you did. Are the Generation O jerseys in the game at launch? All of them.
When do we launch, Eli?
Next week.
Will we have played football games then?
We will have not, but the black ones got released.
Yeah, black ones got released.
So the black ones will be in the game.
I mean, I figured, my thought was that they wouldn't be, because it's like they're just getting unveiled, and it would be like a thing because I remember in one of the deep dives you talked about, they talked about we'll put them in as they're available. And so I was just curious, are they going to be there?
We will put them in as they are available.
Okay.
Yep.
See, even that's a cool thing. So it's like something you wouldn't get. I mean, people forget, but I mean, back in NCAA 2014, like the ability to go in and update those things in season wasn't a thing, and akin to NBA 2K, right? Like, you have like the statement and the city jerseys that the NBA is doing now. And so they'll have 3 of them in the game when it releases, but then when the team finally wears their new one, that's when they update the game. So little things like that you don't even think of, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, back to your point, Torsten. I just want to hammer it home that the attention to detail. I mean, you asked me several times throughout the year, what does Colorado do in this situation? Because I attend Colorado games every home game. You know,
Still waiting on our producer credits.
it just looks. I just can't. I don't even care about producer credits. I just want to play the fucking thing.
It's
at this point.
When the way I looked at it is, if people know I'm working on the game, which you guys did, and you're not the only person we've reached out to for firsthand
I'm sure.
knowledge.
I didn't think I was special.
Oh no, you are special in the fact that I don't know many
appreciate
people
you.
that I don't know many people that are Colorado fans or true diehard non-converted
sure.
Colorado fans.
Yeah.
And but that's the stuff I've like, hey, if I've got somebody who's going to respond to me, use it. Like, let's just make sure. So yeah, little things like that, like might as well. And like, I think I asked you about even the UCLA thing, and I think you talked to your sister about it. So
yeah,
because I didn't have anybody in my Rolodex to go call for UCLA stuff, and when I tried to search for online, I wasn't getting anything clear. So like, let's just see if there's a source that can help us out. So I'm not feeling anything, cool to guys. See. Yeah. No, it's important. It's important that we get as authentic as possible, and that's a big thing for us. I will say one of the cool things that we did, and this kind of got talked about in the presentation deep dive, which was the chants. So when we did chants on the roof of the parking lot, we would have anywhere from like 30 to 35 people up there just screaming like "Roll Tide Roll" or "OHIO" or just "O" or "Let's go Ducks," that sort of stuff. We did over 200 of those across like 10 different recording sessions on the roof, and then we basically took that and blew it out to make it sound like 80,000 people. And like, because we have the audio capability to do that. So when you hear chants in the game, that's us on the parking lot, on the parking garage roof.
That's really cool.
I'm so excited for my first shout at Oregon. I assume it's not been released, so you don't have to confirm or deny. But with you being on this game, I am fully assuming that shout is in there.
I saw that he froze again.
That's
great.
Poker with
Someone get a photo of Eli's face there. That was great. That was a great.
I did see that, like the Kinnick waves in there and all that.
Yep.
So like
Kinnick's
shouts for sure going to be.
Yeah, we did. We have special like quarter break commentary for Kinnick as well. So like both Chris and Reese will say, special tradition here at Kinnick is the first quarter wave. And so they say hi kids, and we do the whole wave and everything like that. And that's like so people saw that. When people saw that in the trailer, that was when I really got them flipping out. They were like, "Oh yeah."
This might be one of the first games in history, Torsten, where especially all the hardcore college football people and the people who've been waiting for a decade don't sit there and like mash the A button to skip the cutscene.
Yeah.
Like this might be the first game in history where we are just sitting through
that was kind of a goal too. Like we wanted people to stick around and watch some of the cool stuff, see the cool visuals, see the transitions that we have, listen to what was being said.
You
6
bet
months down the road, if you do that, fine. That when you first start playing, we hope you enjoy and get as much of it, every experience as possible.
Oh yeah, I'm watching every intro to every game. I'm watching all of it. It's so exciting. So you've obviously been playing this game for a while, and Eli missed it because he was gone, but
he's still gone. He's
he's back. Oh, he's
just lurking around. Okay.
Torsten was playing the game while we were in pre-show, and it was quite torturous. But
jerk.
Other than Oregon, obviously you have a dynasty with Oregon and everything. Mm-hmm. But who's the next team that and I think you're Boise State guy, but who's the next team you're going to have a dynasty with after Oregon?
Before I answer that question, I will say, this kind of spills into actual football a little bit. That Boise State game terrifies me purely because of one man, and that's Ashton Genty. In our game, he's insane. Like he is a load. He's fast, does not go down easy. He is a problem. And so yeah, he alone just terrifies me. And then you got They have a ridiculous left end. I cannot pronounce his last name. It's like Alamed Asalani. He's their co-defensive early preseason defensive player of the year for the Mountain West. He's terrifying too. And so in our game, they're great. Boise State's a great team. Very good team. For me, yeah, I'm going to have an Oregon Dynasty. I don't know if I'll go Boise State. That's a little too on the beaten path for me. I will say my favorite fight song in the game after Mighty Oregon is the fight song for Jacksonville State. That song slaps. Absolutely slaps. And to hear that thing while I'm putting up a whole bunch of touchdowns all over and over and over again, yeah, that's pretty legit. So that's one. This is another one that might be a little sacrilege, and I'm probably get some booze here. Auburn. Auburn might be, yeah. Hey, Auburn might be another team that I started up with.
Michael Dyer was.
They've got a great running back in Jaquiz Hunter that can go. And fun fact, their fight song has never been in our game. We've never had the Auburn fight song in any NCAA game. We have it now. Lots of legal things and lots of other licensing things that I will not get into here. Oh, wow. We have it. So
it shows us how often we want to play as or against Auburn over
or even know what the Auburn fight song is. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But Auburn is a fun spot. And then you also with that you also get to play against some of the bigger SEC teams, obviously, and then you can customize your schedule to bring in whoever you want. So like I feel it's one thing to pick an Ohio State or hell, even to pick an Oregon if you're not an Oregon fan. But picking a team that's not necessarily on their height of power like an Auburn in a major conference is still, I still say respectable. So that sure as hell I'm picking Alabama, not picking Ohio State, not doing Texas, not doing Georgia, not doing any of those, not doing Colorado. They're too powerful. They're too good.
They're so good.
Defensive offensive rankings just tell us that they're way too good. So I'm not going to do those guys either.
Okay, so I have a question for you. I get the offensive ranking. Okay, but their defensive.
At least ranking? Jamie doesn't think it's a joke, but it's okay.
I get it.
I mean, they're pretty powerful in this game. Like, for a team that.
Who are you guys going to start with? Besides Oregon.
Well, you'll find out because after this segment, we have a draft for the Just Two Fans College Football 25 Dynasty that we're going to start.
Ooh,
and but we have some rules. So we made tiers of our want list. It's going to be a random selector. We have a tier of vetoes. We all get one veto. So if I get Nebraska, I will
veto that shit.
Play Nebraska. We also did all teams that are if they're Power 4, they have to be below 500 last year, and then any group of 5 school. So you'll find out after this who we're going to beat besides Oregon.
And you can't be your second favorite team. Wasn't that a rule? So I can't be Hawaii.
Correct, and I can't.
If it's listen, if it's Hawaii, let Chris be Hawaii.
Thank you.
I think the only rule was I can't be Colorado.
Yes,
I want to
you
play
can't
in
be
that
Colorado
facility, baby.
On Colorado, why is Colorado ranked so high?
So similar to the places, toughest places to play, there's a formula. Okay. And you saw some of the player rankings come out today, player ratings come out today. Colorado's got 2 of the best players that we see in our ratings in the country. And when you add 2 players in 2 very important positions, quarterback, wide receiver, especially on offense, no matter what the rest of the offense is, it's going to bring them up. The thing I have told people and I've talked to people about is, and I've said, like, the ratings are looking at what our player ratings are on an individual basis. So we take all those, that's the team. It does not consider cohesiveness, like familiarity, offensive line struggles or abilities. Like, it's just literally that's their player rating. It takes that information and puts it together. So that's why they are where they are. Will they stay there? Again, everything is subject to change. We can adjust that as we need to. If we feel like the offensive line is no better than it was last year, we can bring all those guys down, and that team will fall. Or they could start 6-0 and We got a whole other story going on. They got to get past North Dakota State first, but we got a whole other story going on.
Yeah,
That's a tough game. That North Dakota State game is.
yeah.
Did
It's
you see what
not
Dion?
an
Did you
easy
see
one.
what Dion said, by the way, today?
Yeah,
I did not.
Oh God, it's so.
Is
Well,
it cringy? Because that's like Dion's MO.
What?
I cringed because I'm like, I'm a convert to CU. Like I can see how Jamie would be like, "Fuck yeah, do it," and
what'd he say? You gotta elaborate.
I don't know what he said.
so he said, and I saw it once, and I just like I couldn't read it again. So if this is what he said today, he said that we're everybody's Super Bowl.
No, that's what Shador said.
Shador said that. Well, that was worse.
No, what Dion said was he was like, "Why can't my AD get me a layup in the first game of the year?" He's mad at his AD for scheduling North Dakota State. Now he said it tongue in cheek, but he knows what's coming at him. And I was talking about some people with this today, and I was like, that game is culture versus talent. That's literally what's going to be. You have a team of North Dakota State who does not care, has nothing to lose. It's a bunch of guys who have been thrown off into the wastes of North Dakota, and then you got Shador and Travis Hunter, and that's really what it comes down to. Colorado should win that game.
I mean, did you guys watch the North Dakota that video that came out with like 4 of them coming out of the tunnel?
Yeah, that was
Maybe that's what he watched, and he's like, "All right, we're good." 'Cause that video was bad.
Yeah, that was bad.
Really
That
That
was bad. He's like, "Nah, we got this."
But yeah, no, that's the they get past North Dakota State. That Nebraska game could be really, really good.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm
That could be a lot of
genuinely
fun.
That's like on my list of games that like.
No, it's
I've
fun because we've been
circled.
playing these dynasties, and I'm basically getting early season previews of everyone's schedule, which is a blast. And I'll tell you, it'd be a very good of you guys to get through a full dynasty, a full season before the season starts, because the one thing that we're really pushing, and I think even Herb Street called it out in one of the Dynasty Deep Dive, is you get to play the playoff before the playoff even happens and really get a feel for, oh, this is how this thing works. Okay, yeah, I have 2 losses. I didn't win my conference, or I'm 17 in the country and I won my conference. I'm the 4 seed. Oh, I have a bye. Like there's weird things that are going to work out with this now. That's going to be really fun for people to experience for the first time in college football 25.
That's
I can tell Jamie's really stoked.
I will I will definitely complete a dynasty before the season starts. I can tell you
Okay,
that.
good.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
I might complete a dynasty before next week ends.
Well, what else you guys got? Anything? What else do you guys want to know? What else can I tell you legally?
All right, I've got a
What are
question.
you
Go ahead.
most excited about in this game? Like, what is
What's the one thing?
Yeah, that you're like, this is my
What's the one
favorite
thing?
part about this entire game that you can tell us legally.
Someone's drinking, by the way. Oh, there we go. There we go. Good of you. Good on you there, Chris.
Did we lose him?
Freeze.
No,
No.
okay, now he's back.
What's the one thing, Torsten, that you're most excited for?
I'm sorry. I thought I was here the whole time. I thought you guys were just like not responding to anything. Okay, my bad. What's the one thing I'm the most excited for?
Or like the one thing that you're most excited for people to experience? Like you've obviously been playing it, but like what's the one thing that like for this group that's obviously stoked about this game? What's the one
If you
thing
are
that you're
if you are a
stoked
diehard college football person, the sheer diversity of playbooks that you're going to run into will blow your mind. Like every playbook is different. Like you go there are some fundamental routes that look the same, plays that look the same. Everyone's got an inside zone. Everyone's got an all curls, like that sort of stuff.
Over Storm Bridge.
But then you go to like the Boise State playbook, and it's like there's clearly weird stuff in there. You go to the Army playbook, it's all runs. You go to the who was I playing with the other day? You go to the Arizona playbook, it's just wide open splits and just crazy passes from both ends of the field on wide angles. Like it's insane how diverse the playbooks are. So yeah, it's that's, I think, if for diehard fans like you guys are really going to kind of just soak all that in and fall in love with that.
Okay, I've got one more for you. Wear and tear. Is it annoying or awesome?
Did you guys lose me again?
Am I muted?
Okay.
Is it me?
Okay, good.
Can you hear Eli?
No, I don't have Eli at all.
Oh, weird.
Oh, okay. So can somebody tell him the question I just asked?
Yeah. So the question that Eli just asked is wear and tear. It looks awesome in the previews that you guys have put out, but his question is it annoying or is it awesome?
I think it's awesome because it really makes you strategize. You really have to think about, and I'm just using Oregon guys as an example. I have beat Jordan James to death with these inside zones. He has taken a lot of hits. He's had 20 plus rushes. His whole body is yellow and orange. Probably need to take him out if I want to have him survive the next game. Like, I need to kind of give him some rest. So, you got to be able to manage that. Got to be able to think about that and work through that as the game goes on. Now you can turn it off. That is a feature that you can completely turn off. If you find it annoying, you don't like it, you can turn it off and you don't have to worry about it one bit.
I love that. I like, so is that the case with a lot? Like, are there a lot of things like for somebody? I don't think I'm going to fall into this category, but if somebody out there is like, I just want to play college football 14 with current teams and current playbooks and all the new animations, is there a way to make it more like that, or
what would you want in that experience? Like
nothing. I want everything that this game's going to be.
I think you can find NCAA 14 in there. The recruiting is way more extensive. The recruiting is like you're going to spend a lot of time in the recruiting.
Yeah.
Putting your recruiting board together. Yeah, you're going to spend a lot of time in recruiting. So that's way more extensive. That's way deeper. But yeah, like there's NCAA 14 is in there. You just it's kind of plussed, I would say, and then there's a lot of new stuff for you to play with and have fun with.
The enhancements just look like enhancements that were needed, and it's nothing that's like over the top, right? Like, so like me, I'm a casual gamer in general, right? Like sports games is where I live.
Mm-hmm.
Like first person shooters like have just gone way past my ability to keep up with them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was getting a little worried about that with this game. It's like, how in depth, like, am I just going to have to basically be a full-time head coach and spend 40 hours a week trying to figure out all this shit? And
he's worried he only has a few
do all
years
this
left before his son can start beating
that,
him at
right.
video
That
games. And he has to
and I also have 3 kids, so my window to play is not what it used to be. Now that said, I'm going to be staying up till 2 a.m. and way too late playing this game, but it just seems like you guys have struck a good balance.
You need to have a conversation with Kate.
I have had multiple. I have tried to warn her for the last 6 weeks that this is coming, and I don't think you understand that I'm going to be an absentee dad for like a month.
She'll figure it out at some point.
She'll find out very fast.
Yeah, no. We expect people to be like that. We expect people to find things like that, and we're just excited to see what little niche you guys fall into, because there's gonna be something that people find across everything that's gonna really excite you and really make it a big part of it. So it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Me too.
Obviously, I think we all are. Like, Cameron, what did you have? You had a question for Torsten.
I did.
Before we leave.
Yeah, this is super important. And I need to solve this mystery. Was that you on the Oregon Spirit tee that had the yell O sign with his hands up? Because I swear to God that was you. I saw it in my closet the other day, and I was like, "That's absolutely Torsten's silhouette."
You've asked me this before. If it is, that's news to me.
Okay,
I'm being perfectly honest. I no idea if that's me or not.
Well, I'll just think it's you. Because
sure, I like this. I like this idea.
I saw it, I was like, when did they do this?
That's pretty good.
News to me. Where's my? I didn't get any royalties off that. That's probably why I'm silhouetted in that form. So I guess I did get royalties since like what half of them went to the band or something like that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Torsten, for joining us.
Absolutely.
Obviously, we are stoked for this game. It can't come soon enough, and I think we have Road to Glory deep dive coming later
Tomorrow.
this week.
Hell
Tomorrow.
Yep.
Let's
and
go.
just so you know, it wouldn't be a Just Two Fans if I didn't toot my own horn. I am hosting the morning radio show Friday, and I already texted the producer and said, "Hey, we're having a college football 25 segment, and we're talking about the game. So maybe some of the stuff we talked about today might get rehashed because I'm ready to run through a brick wall to play this game right now."
Oh, I'm so
Me
freaking
too.
excited, man.
Me too.
Good. I did my job.
You did.
Job. Yeah. I'll let my marketing department know they should have me on doing all their
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Have your
Well,
marketing
thanks, boys, for having
department
me
post
on.
it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
It's been fun.
thanks for joining.
And I'm all out of beer, so I'll finish this up and call it a night.
Sounds good.
Thanks, guys. Talk soon.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Yep.
Torsten.
All right. That is college football 25.
I'm so stoked for that game.
I just like everything about what I've seen, what Torsten said, just reaffirms how excited I am for this fucking game.
Bullshit. You know what got me most hype was all the shit he didn't say.
I know,
When
dude.
he's like, I can't really say much. Oh no, they're hiding so much. They're hiding so much.
They've been so strategic with how they it's been truly masterful how they've gone about this launch.
Oh, they've been.
It's
great.
pretty impressive.
Yeah. Man, I can't get over how excited I am for this game. It's like it's so I'm a 35-year-old man, and like this video game is giving me a video game launch is giving me like so much joy.
I'm not kidding you guys. Like I will tell
Anticipation.
Kate, like we'll be downstairs watching TV at night because like it's our only time together. And like after the kids go to bed. And I looked at her last night again and I was like, listen, honey, I know this is our like time. It's going away next week. Like, I don't even know you can sit next to me and read your little fantasy books if you want, but I am going to be locked in on that television.
I got to get this 5-star, babe. He's in Florida. I got to get him away from home.
I have to.
You got it.
Oh, so good. All right. So Eli, you joined us late. We just kind of jumped right in with Torsten. We had a lot of viewers that joined us because of Cameron's little tagline that he put in there that we were doing a college football 25 keys with an EA insider.
Mm-hmm.
So let's rewind a little bit and do some podium action because we got other sports to talk about before we get to our team selector for the Just Two Fans College Football Dynasty. And then finally, we're going to release our preseason college football playoff rank prediction for the upcoming season. But let's get to podium. It wouldn't be this show these days if we didn't talk about what is probably the best race I've watched in F1 since 2021. Cameron, the last race of 2021, when Max won the world championship from Lewis. This race had everything, literally everything. It had everything about it was amazing. It had strategy. It had pit issues. It had Lewis Hamilton being back on top of the podium for the first time in 3 years. Just everything about this race was awesome.
And Lewis Hamilton actually getting emotional about a win.
Very emotional.
Yeah. Broncos
So
country,
good.
let's ride to the podium. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Cameron, what else you got on that?
Yeah, I mean, you said it. It's his first win since Abu Dhabi 2021. Something like 954 days. It was so good to see. I was jumping up and down in my living room at 9:30 in the morning after getting up at 6 to make sure everything was ready, watching the pre-show, and best race we've had since then. And like you said, it had everything. I mean, it even had weather issues and doing the right strategy around that. And then, you feel bad a little bit, in the light of Lewis winning. I felt bad for Lando because McLaren dropped that ball.
Oh, they did.
They should have given him
dropped that ball hard.
They should have given him mediums, and we would have had, a dead race around, to the final corner. Because of Silverstone, you're around that corner and you got 20 yards and you're over the, the start finish line. So, yeah, it was a great race. One of my favorites for sure.
I'm just glad that this season there's actual intrigue. Right? It's not just okay, Max is going to win by 45 seconds and then whoever's getting second is the more interesting race. I'm glad we have new winners. We have like actual good racing at the top of the race, right? Because like we've talked on this podcast multiple times about like how like a lot of the racing you got to watch like 6 through 8 and like or 6 through 10, like that's where the fun racing is, and we're finally getting fun racing at 1, 2, 3, and it I think it's one, good for the sport. I think it's two, it's good for us because that's as Americans, that's we're taught to win, and that, like, what, I don't care about who gets 8th or 9th, and so it's good for us as our viewing pleasure of like seeing actual good racing at the top.
For sure.
I think it's just good all around, man. It's so nice. It's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead.
And like you said, as far as Americans, we've been watching motorsports where you don't know who's winning every week.
Yeah.
Like if you watch Indy, you watch NASCAR, you watch, IMSA, you don't know who's going to win. And so the last 2 years, especially after like Drive to Survive exploded and that whole crowd came over, because that's really what it happened. Like Drive to Survive has been on since the 2017 season, and it took 3-4 years before people saw it and appreciated what it was and got into it. And the last 2.5 years, 3 years have really been, why do I watch this? Why would I wake up at 6 a.m.? And so getting this kind of racing this year, and like I predicted at the beginning of the season, I think someone said, is Max going to win 19 races? And I said, there's no way he's winning, more races than he did last year. I don't think he's going to get close. And I still don't think he's going to get close. I mean, there's a chance this season, and the way it's looking and the way, especially the McLarens are so fast, Red Bull could lose the constructors because Max is the only one pulling weight. Checo's back in 8th. And if you look at his performance stipulations in his contract, he should have lost his contract already.
He's done.
He can't be like finishing outside of the top 5, and he can't be more than like 5 places behind where Max finishes.
He's become a little more exposed with a car that doesn't have the pace that it did a year ago.
Yeah,
which was the Checo that we all knew prior to this, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so we're getting, and it's a word that we love, and we don't say it often enough right now, but we're getting parity. And we were really excited about parity in college football. We're getting to Formula One, and I feel like I've been trying to drag you guys kicking and screaming through Formula One the past couple of years, and it's paying off. It's like it's like when you recommend a movie to someone and you like keep looking over to see if they're on their phone or not. You guys have finally put down your phones because the movie has gotten good.
I feel like I put down my phone first. I want to say.
Well, I was the one who got you into Formula One.
It didn't take much work. I fucking love F1 now. It's unreal how much I watch it.
Yeah.
I just want to say that you guys all scoffed at me when I said I think Max wins the world championship, but McLaren wins the constructors. And look where we're at, boys. That's a possibility.
I mean, mad props to that because that's a crazy
work.
It was a crazy pick,
and it's paying off. I mean, the fact that we have 6 different race winners thus far it's what we
like
needed.
They don't have the same pace that McLaren's running, but gosh, the improvements that Mercedes has done over the last few weeks, like Russell's been looking like if Russell didn't have that mechanical failure, he would have been in contention in that race too. So it's all the teams are putting it together at the right time. It's made for great races, man.
I mean, even if you look at like quali, sure, you have Williams and stuff down and Haas down at the bottom like you always do. But the gap between the top and bottom is so minimal now. Like it used to be seconds, right? Like the Williams was just clearly the worst car in the field by a mile. And now, like you could have Alex Albon go out there and run a crazy lap and get 6th in Q1.
Yeah, but hasn't like Hulkenberg's been putting together really good races lately.
Nico
man.
Hulkenberg's been racing his
he's
ass
been
off
looking
in
really
that
good
thing.
with that Haas. Like
I think it was Nico's been turning it on since the announcement came out. He signed the contract with Audi. I feel like he's like, I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm gonna get support, and just turned it on. But I mean, even like to the Williams side, both Williams made it out of Q3, and Logan, like with his job, like he doesn't have a seat next year. There's rumors that he's going to Indy, which would be fine. But for that to come out and him to perform better, and rather than just like chucking in the towel for the last half of the season, the cars are getting fast. And I think it was a couple races ago, top to bottom was separated by like 1.1 seconds in quali.
Crazy
in Q1, and we haven't seen that. And they're driving rocket ships out there, and everyone's getting faster, and pulling on the tail of Red Bull and putting them back. And I mean, I just looked up, driver standings, and it's a gap. But right now, Max has 255 points. Next closest is Lando with 171. Now, I'm not saying, but we still have half a season plus 2 races. I think that, people are getting vulnerable.
I mean, the fact that you're seeing Red Bulls get passed, like not just like they had a bad race or Max's engine blew up or whatever, but like he is actually struggling to keep pace with the McLaren. It's refreshing after the last 2 seasons.
It's interesting too, though, watching from my perspective, being fresh to this, watching Red Bull lose that pace that it had, because what was it, last year or the year before, where it was either him or Perez that was winning the races. And even Perez, when he won, was winning going away. But now that they are losing their pace to the field, you see this giant gap between driving skill between Verstappen and Perez, which didn't feel like there was a gap like a year ago or 2 years ago. And now it's just like a chasm. It is just, it points to the fact that Max Verstappen he's a product of a fast car, but he's also a really good fucking driver, like a really good driver.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting that when you lose that pace, you start to show those holes in your defense, man, and the holes in the armor. And it's been really intriguing over the last few weeks for me, at least.
Yeah, I think it was one of the F1 commentators that said, kind of after the fact, that Max is the best driver, and he's no longer in the fastest car.
Yeah.
Lando is one of the top 5 drivers, and he's in the fastest car. And that's why the gap is closing. And now you've got, like you said, Russell won last week, or the last race, and Lewis this week. Those Mercedes aren't slow anymore. We're not dealing with porpoising for 90% of the season like we did last season. So yeah, we're turning a corner, and it's getting really we're turning a corner. It's getting really, really good, and we'll have a full season of this kind of stuff because everyone's going to keep making improvements. And then we go into a new season and new regulations and new teams on the grid, new ownership in 2026. So this is going to be a good one.
I'm excited. What's next? Hungary?
Yes. The Hungaroring.
The Hungaroring. That's in 2 weeks. So we get almost 2 full weeks of playing college football before we have to go back to F1.
I'll say this too, real quick, as a person who is who has done commentary and play-by-play, and the F1 commentary team, fucking amazing.
Yeah,
like that call on Lewis Hamilton's final few turns, like that's like almost like make the hair stand up type stuff. Like that's a commentary team that knows what the hell they're doing, dude. Props to them.
Pretty much the entire presentation of F1 is just so good these days.
If so many other sports took that presentation level, oh my god, it's
now all they need to do is get the camera angles from MotoGP and it'd be perfect. I don't know if you guys watch much MotoGP, but the camera work for the race in MotoGP is outstanding.
So I haven't watched much, but now I want to.
Dude, it's so crazy, like watching MotoGP, and like it'll be like a straight down angle of a corner, and they look like they're 2D like dudes on the ground because they're so tilted. They're like at like 60-degree angles on motorcycles, and so it looks like they're literally flat from the top. You can see the entire bike. It's insane.
That's cool.
Yeah,
it's awesome. All right, next topic. Chris, I want your take on Bronny James because he's been all the rage in the NBA. He took over the draft as a second-round pick. You know, as a very, very, very casual basketball fan, this just screams silver spoon. He wouldn't even be nepotism. Wouldn't even be in the NBA without his dad thing. What is your take on Bronny James and how he's going to do in the NBA?
Well, all you got to do is go back to the archives of this podcast when it was down to Oregon and USC for him as a recruit. And I was hyped for it just because of the publicity that it brings, but I didn't think he was a very good college recruit. And the numbers bear that at USC. He wasn't incredible his freshman year, but his dad's done some heavy lifting. The PR team's done a heavy lifting. Clutch Sports, which pretty much runs the NBA, has done some absolute heavy lifting in, getting him where they go. There was the reports live from on the broadcast that, Clutch Sports is texting people saying, don't draft Bronny because if you do, he's going to go play in Australia. He already has a deal there, blah, blah, blah. And, everyone balked, and then the Lakers picked him up, and now here he is. He had a lackluster debut in the Sacramento Summer League. I think that's what they were playing. Now, Summer League is what it is. Like, everyone gets hyped over Summer League when a guy plays great, or they get down on a guy when they play bad. You can't because Summer League is so hard. But I don't think Bronny is a great prospect. He's an undersized guard with a very limited offensive game. You had everyone who talked him up about being, he could play defense at this level right now. Like, if you put Bronny James in front of Peyton Pritchard right now, I don't think he can guard Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard is not a great, ball handling, get around you type player. He's been a great shooter. He's been way better than advertised. Full disclosure, I did not think he was going to be a good NBA player, but he has been able to play on the defensive end. Bronny his dad played his cards right and got him a spot. And this is the annoying part about all this. Like, LeBron James is literally no different than LeVar Ball. He's just LeBron James. So he has he has the rings and the 20-year career and the ability to do this, but it's no secret that he's ran the league forever. Now, do I think Bronny is an absolute, he's going to bust? No, I think there's talent there. I think he can be a good NBA player, but he has to be more focused on probably the defensive side because the offensive side for him is limited. And if anyone thinks that he's legit going to earn rotation minutes for a Lakers team that thinks that they're a playoff team, no, I don't think he will, because I don't think that's where he is. And I think the crazy part about it, Jamie, is you look at Bronny James, he gets a 4-year deal, 3 years guaranteed, 4th-year option as a second-round pick. That is like rarefied air. Like, second-round picks, for those of you who don't know, all first-round picks in the NBA are guaranteed contracts. They have to be signed to NBA deals for a set of second-round contracts. They have the ability to be signed to two-way deals, so they can be assigned to G League teams, save teams money, all that stuff. So you had that ability with LeBron, but you're like, no, he's going to get a 3-year guaranteed NBA deal with a 4th-year option. I mean, that's wild to me for a guy who averaged like 2.5 points at USC. Yeah. So,
I just remember like you talked about the PR, and the PR team went hard on Bronny James, because I specifically remember you talk about like the defensive side of the ball. I watched Shellstad at Oregon drop like 50 on Bronny James. Right. And then you go back and you watch the highlights from the game. Dude. Shellstad's insane. But you go back and you watch the highlights from the game, and I remember just watching ESPN about the Oregon, because I think it was Bronny James's return. Like, I think it was his first game back. maybe not, but like he had a dunk in the game, and it was a nice dunk. It was a good dunk. That was the only story. Was that Bronny James was like on fire in the game. He had like 6 points, while Shellstad literally dropped like 40 on his head. Like
Right.
it was just like it was just unbelievable.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a good question from Jamie because that's all the talk in the NBA right now. But I think it's insanity that LeBron got his way and he got to the Lakers. It's wild.
Bronny wouldn't have been drafted if it weren't for LeBron James.
No, I absolutely don't think so. I do not think so. I think if the Lakers didn't pick him right there and LeBron got his way, that he would have got out of the second round and had to end up signing one of those two-way deals or play overseas.
I mean, do you think he would have actually gotten a two-way deal on an NBA team right now, like with his current skill set?
Without a doubt. If he didn't get drafted right there, if I'm an NBA team, I want him on a two-way deal all day long because then I can just stash him at the G League, and the G League team wants that. So you have the Rip City Remix, who played their very first year last year at Chiles Center, a little college stadium that holds 4,000 people. That thing's going to sell out every single night if you're playing Bronny James there for your home games. Like you're going to.
Well, but I mean, if it's not Bronny, right? Or it's like if it's not LeBron James's son, right? Like. He doesn't like does he even
as
get
a talent if his name is Chris Burkhardt, right? And with that skill set, there's no way he's drafted. No way. If his name,
I mean, does he even get a two-way contract, free agent signing?
Now, if his name is Chris Burkhardt, but he still has the PR team behind him and the social media clout and the ability for ESPN to talk about him every single day, talent doesn't matter. Two-way deal, I would sign all day long. All day long because it's going to put butts in the seats and people are going to be excited. Talent wise, though, I think it's crazy that he was drafted by the Lakers of all teams.
Yeah.
Especially a team that's like really trying to make another championship run.
Well,
even though they couldn't sign anyone.
And they're incredible. They think that they have a championship team, despite the fact that team was pure ass last year.
Oh, they're terrible.
Didn't get any better during this offseason and has been, turned down by Klay Thompson and turned down by DeMar DeRozan and all these other free. Like
Klay Thompson took less money to go to the Mavs.
Yeah, he did.
That's insane to me.
And I like the fit there in Dallas, but
the
Lakers they're a dumpster fire ran by Dollar Tree Rob Lowe and Jeannie Buss and LeBron James.
Dollar Tree Rob Lowe.
We're gonna have to clip that one. That was great.
That is fantastic. Oh, it's so good. Cool. That's pretty much what I wanted to hear there. Real quick before I can't wait to get to our team selector, so we're gonna get there. I would be remiss if I didn't bring up and talk about briefly Kyrie Jackson, former Oregon cornerback, 2024 NFL draft pick to the Vikings. Died in a car accident last weekend. For anybody who didn't hear that, really sad story. Some really shitty takes out there on TikTok that I don't really want to talk about too much.
They don't deserve.
I don't even want to give them a platform.
I don't even want to give them a platform, so I won't mention it. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Just don't be a shithead like that. It's pretty easy.
Well, like also like
don't be a shitty person.
It's just lazy like reporting, if you will, of like not knowing like the well-established facts of the incident. And then going on and making your own assumptions of that as like this is what happened and that's what makes this
the only
life got gone like
unbelievable. It just like using an incident like this to further your platform is just one of the grossest things out there.
It's brutal. And I say this again as someone who a degree in journalism and has made a career out of it. The people who do that it's just gross to me.
It's just gross.
You don't vet your sources. You don't do anything. You just go out there and strike while the iron's hot, so to speak. and throw out the hottest of hot takes, a shit take at that. And again, we don't need to even give it the credit, but I'm sure you guys have seen it. But it's just like it's incredible. It's incredible. It's like when OJ Simpson died. Like not a lot of people, a lot of good that. It's like, okay, well, I'm just not gonna tweet about it. He doesn't deserve my time. But it's like this one is like you're making up shit. Oh, because he was a bad kid. No one, he was a passenger in the vehicle. It's not like he was out there making bad choices. And also, once the information came out, his vehicle wasn't at fault. It was a suspected drunk driver in a different vehicle, right? So you quit. It's nonsensical that you jump to this when
right. Like you said, it's lazy, right? Because the first thing you see is it happened at 3 a.m. and so the crowd immediately goes, nothing good happens after 2 a.m. or whatever the the saying is. So obviously it was their fault. It's just like, it's just time and place, man. And don't be a shitty person. It's really it's not that hard. Like, just don't be a shitty person.
I will say this: this one always surprises me when something like this happens, and I'm not trying to make light of it in any way, but we've seen so many times when someone passes away from a team where a team sends out the social media graphic, right? Rest in peace, whatever it is. The Oregon digital team, the amount of footage that they film and archive on all their players is so surprising to me and shocking to me, because you saw this happen with Spencer Webb, right? And they were able to make an entire 4-minute long video with all his footage and dedicate it to him. And they were able to make the same thing with Kyrie Jackson. And he was only there for a limited amount of time after transferring from Alabama, right? And the kudos to that team to be able to have that archived and put together a very thoughtful and well done video in memoriam to him is really incredible, and a testament to how talented some of the people are there to be able to do that. It's really incredible.
Yeah.
Yep. Other former Oregon football player news, just a little closer to home here in Denver. Bo Nix and Troy Franklin are both making waves in Broncos minicamps. So take that for what it's worth. The Broncos suck, and I don't expect that to change anytime soon. But the positive vibes coming out about Bo Nix and Troy Franklin are awesome for me.
Troy Franklin's a steal of that draft. Unbelievable that he went.
I haven't had a chance to be on with you guys, Jamie, but I've said this on radio that Bo Nix needs to succeed, because if he doesn't succeed with all the talk about Sean Payton didn't have his quarterback and Bo Nix is perfect because his resemblances to Drew Brees and blah, blah. If Bo Nix fails, Sean Payton might not get another head coaching job.
That is
Sean
true.
Payton, more so than anybody, needs Bo Nix to hit. And that's intriguing. That's a good coach and a good quarterback and how they can get that done, but he needs him to hit.
Well, and not only that, but the Broncos took a massive, the biggest cap hit ever by cutting Russell Wilson to draft Bo Nix. Mm-hmm. So the pressure's there from Broncos country for this to hit. The pressure's there on Sean Payton for his coaching legacy for this to hit. And obviously the pressure is there on Bo for him to succeed. I'm just excited for it. I got my Bo Nix jersey hanging up in my closet already.
Nice.
So I'm ready to go.
Hell yeah.
All right. Let's do this thing. We're moving on to our team selector for the Just Two Fans College Football 2025.
Let's go.
Online Dynasty. Again, I talked about it when Torsten was in here.
Well done,
the rules for this, that is fantastic. Just that is A+ work. The rules for this can't be Oregon, can't be Colorado. It cannot be a Power 4 conference team who was above 500 last year. And it can be any group of 5 school. So those are the rules that we're going by. We all have our tiers, our wants, our desires, if you will, when it comes to this. And then we all get, I am not allowed to get Nebraska to save my sanity. and we
gave
all
Jamie
get
that
one veto.
Yep, you can take one veto.
All right, we
So-
let her
Hey,
rip.
who wants to go first?
Who's going first?
I'll do it.
All right,
All right.
Eli's biting the bullet.
All right,
Here we
nervous.
go.
I'm nervous.
all right, here we go.
I'm looking at the stream, so it might be a
I'm
little
delayed
on my
too.
end. Come on, baby.
Who is that?
Oh,
Middle
no,
Tennessee.
I'm vetoing that one. I'm vetoing that one. Let's try again.
I was
It
looking
wasn't
at our
in your
screen. I
veto.
didn't even know he had a wheel up.
All right, second time.
Sound effects. Let's see here.
I didn't take that much time to put in my veto stuff because I didn't think it would actually matter.
They
but-
were in your oh no tier.
Oh,
Cal?
Cal.
Okay, I love that. I like
All
that.
right,
They
that's
were in my
great.
want. They were in my want. list.
Fantastic. That's
I love that.
Yeah, that's solid.
that's good.
Good veto. Good use of the veto.
Thank you. Thank you.
All
Billy.
right.
Thank you.
Who's up next?
All right, I'll go
I'm
next.
so happy.
I'll go
That
next.
could have gone so poorly.
All right, Jamie's up.
Wait, just to be clear, I can't get Nebraska,
Yes.
and I don't use my veto on that. I just can't get
No, you
Nebraska.
just
Matter.
won't get Nebraska.
Not gonna
We're
matter.
giving you the special
I would love it popped up on
Oh.
Nebraska first roll.
Akron.
Akron. Ooh, where you at, Jamie?
Come on,
I'm gonna-
Zips.
I'm gonna veto.
He's got that.
Hell
This is
yeah.
in the oh
Hell
no
yeah.
category.
I'm gonna veto.
Ooh.
They were in my oh no.
Okay.
I'm gonna
I'm
take
so
the
gonna
gamble
get one
like
of my
Eli
Oh, this
did.
is so fun.
I know this.
Oh boy.
Oh, come on, baby. Come on. Let's see what you got. Mm, mm.
Oh, he almost got one of his.
Boise State.
Arkansas, baby.
Not bad.
I'll
Not
take
bad.
that.
Not
I'll
bad.
take
damn.
that. They were in my dig it.
Hot
Oh,
damn.
you got to go in the SEC though. That's tough.
Yeah, but I also get to go in the SEC.
That's true. That's true.
Get to.
All right, Christopher.
All right. I don't
Here
even
we
know what
go.
my list is.
Oh, I also want to point out that we're reverting the conferences to 2010
I
alignment.
did notice that. Which is pretty
I get the Pac-12, baby.
There you
oh,
go.
Cameron.
fun. Oh.
Oh, App State.
Ooh.
That's.
I had
oh,
App
like-
State
I
in my
would-
want.
Yeah, I
Oh.
did too.
I didn't have them in my want. I had them in my dig it. Gosh darn it.
Do you want to veto that? Oh, this is,
This is
oh the
tough.
intrigue.
Oh, I love this.
This is tough.
Oh, I love it.
Gosh, it could be so much worse. I think.
you know,
I
really
will
easy path to the
accept my
playoff,
fate.
man. You can be that mid-major that goes.
I think I will accept my fate as App State.
Love
I think
Love
that's a good choice by you. It can be so much worse
be
than
better,
App
but there's
State.
It
far
could be.
more
It
odds
could
of
be
being
better, but it
worse.
could be so much worse.
All righty.
Okay, Cameron, don't spoiler for us because we're on the stream.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
Let's see. Cameron's role would have been what happened if I vetoed, right?
Yep, that's a
Yeah.
good.
That's true. That's true. What do we got? What do we got?
Oh, UCF.
Ooh, that's solid.
That's a good pull.
See, they're in the same.
I didn't
tier.
create a list, so I'm looking at your guys' tier, see if that's a good pick.
It's a good pull.
It's a
That's
good
it.
pull.
Eli's wants,
Yeah.
Jamie's wants. I'll keep it because there's a lot more terrifying teams out there.
Yes. there are.
That because all respect, but I don't want to get stuck with Army.
They're in Conference USA, right? Back in 2010. Is it CUSA?
Let me check real quick. What was it? UCF.
And I'm keeping UCF.
UCF was in Conference USA.
Yeah, that's
So none of
Yeah.
us are in the same conference, right?
None of us are in the same
Love that.
conference.
Interesting.
Torsten said.
Oh
he
wait, where
wants
are we
to
putting App
play-
State?
where were
Does-
we putting App State?
Mac. That would make the most sense, I think.
What are they in now?
What are they in now? I would say Mac or Big East.
They're in the Sun Belt.
Oh, they are. So that we could put them in the Sun Belt.
Put them in the Sun Belt.
Cool. Cool. Yeah. No, we're none in the.
I love that. I love this. This is Arkansas, baby. Go
Oh,
Hogs.
Torsten wants in on it.
Yeah, but Torsten, if it's not cross-platform online
Yeah,
dynasty,
that's on you.
so
bud.
You have to tell us if that's going to happen, and we'll give you a team.
Yeah, because we're playing on Xbox.
Yep.
Waiting for the chat.
Yeah.
What a fun.
That's awesome. Great work, Cameron.
I
A
appreciate
plus.
it. Thanks. That was fun for me to set up.
That
So,
was fun
what
for me.
What are our rules? Are we
Just
are
give
we
me a
stuck?
team. He just says, just give me a team.
All right.
Just to
Torsten,
roll.
you
just
get
for
one
funsies.
veto.
Do it.
All right.
Yeah, just for funsies.
All right, here
Torsten,
you go.
Anybody else
get
in
a
the
veto.
chat want a team?
Yeah, speak up if you're in the chat and you want us to roll for you. You can play on your own, right? With whatever team we roll for you. Who's Torsten get? Rutgers.
Middle Tennessee State.
Ooh, that's the same roll as Eli's first.
Oh, yeah. You were mad at me for not doing it. So looks like that's your team, bud. He was like, he said, Blue Raiders, why did I not pick him? And then I got Cal, which I'm much more happy with. I would have been okay with Middle Tennessee State. I think I said dig it for him, but I was just like, I just feel like getting in.
No, they were in your own no.
Oh, they
All
were
right,
my
veto.
own. No, that's right.
All right, veto, because I can do better. All right,
He
buddy. I hope you
vetoed.
think so.
Hope you think so.
I removed him. That's fine. Keep going.
Oh, that's. Oh, I thought. Oh, okay. Temple. No.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, I was
Yep.
like, oh
Ooh.
god, please keep
I
going.
mean,
Please
Temple's
keep
not a bad
going.
team. Temple's not a
Arizona
bad team.
State would have been a sweet pull. Decent
That would've
team.
been
Great
sweet.
uniform selection. That's what I was pulling for.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
All right.
Torsten's happy. Torsten's
was a lot
happy.
of fun.
Good.
He's litty
Good.
for it. So, Sam, I mean, I can roll for you, but are you going to get the game?
Just
Roll for
it.
Just
We'll
roll
do
for
it
him.
anyway.
All right, Sam.
Why
Here
not,
we go,
man?
baby. Sam and I can play on PlayStation as well.
Yeah,
Flex on.
that's
us.
true. Philly.
SMU. Smooth.
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 All right, Sam. Helmet. You want Southern Methodist University?
Southern Methodist.
The true
That's
U
so
of the
good.
South.
Oh, it's so good.
You got 5 seconds,
You
bud.
taking it?
Veto. Okay.
Hard veto.
Hard veto.
Hard veto.
That's a loud
All right,
one.
their transition is pretty rough right now. You know, going into the Big 12.
All right.
Yes.
Not a bad one.
Home of the Kelseys.
Oh, that's
Home of the Kelseys.
that's a good pull.
That's a good pull. All right, bud. You're Cincinnati.
It's a good pull.
All right. That was fun.
Love that.
We're going to start
love
doing more
that.
random wheel stuff because those are just fun for me to make.
I got the worst team of the bunch.
All right.
I had
State?
App State in my actively want.
Yeah, me too.
Just because their stadium's nice. Good views.
Yeah, and their story is amazing. They're pretty good at their level.
Giant killers, man.
Yep. I'm scheduling at Michigan every year.
Yeah, 100% you are.
Yeah, you are.
Yes, you are. All right, so that's our dynasty. We'll keep you guys up to date with how it's going for us. The cool thing, and like you pointed out, we're all in different conferences, so we're not even going to meet until the playoff, which is
I love that.
awesome.
I love that.
Yeah,
Look
that
at
makes it fun because you're not going to get like absolutely just run over in regular season. And we can just
Right,
all
like
play
Chris-
and just chill for 16 weeks. And then, yeah, hopefully we see each other.
Right, like I think that's what's
And
on.
then
Like
have Chris
Chris,
win
you
the
have the
championship.
worst team, but like you're playing in the
Oh yeah.
Sun Belt. Like it's not a big deal.
No.
It's cool. I like it. All right, let's get to our playoff predictions.
Does everybody have the
We-
stream up, by the way?
I
Yeah.
do.
I put in work on this one as well.
We did all of our conference previews, at least for the major conferences. So now it is time for our playoff predictions. Cameron, show us the graphic.
Show us that beautiful, beautiful graphic, my guy. I'm ready for it.
All right.
Is it up yet? Is it up yet?
There it
Up
is.
yet? Is it up yet? Is it? Oh, there it is.
A+.
All right. So, I don't know. Do you want to start, Jamie, with yours or
what?
Yeah, I changed mine around a little bit today.
Huh?
So
Today.
What do you do? I want you to start because you're starting off with number 12,
okay,
and I need some
12 Oregon,
rationale here.
just like kind of not a great team. 11 New Mexico State. I think they're going to clearly win the whole thing.
Okay, so Eli's just not taking this seriously. What's happening?
I don't know what you're talking about, dude. This is a
Do you think
clearly real
Oregon's gonna be
ranking
the 12
list.
seed? Like,
This
do you
is-
actually think that?
It's a clear ranking of like.
No, you're being sarcastic.
I am being sarcastic. This is not a real ranking. This is not my real ranking. I just wanted to mess with you a little bit.
Got him. You got him.
Jamie's just like, what the hell?
He was. Look at his.
I
face
called
is still
Cameron
red,
on
like
my
he's
drive
still
home
mad.
today. I was like, let's just mess with Jamie.
I kind of thought you were joking because this doesn't match anything that you said in your
Yeah.
preseason rankings. So,
Yeah.
Cameron, do you have the actual graphic?
That's
It's
up
up.
now.
Yeah, it's up now.
Oh, okay, it's not up on mine yet, but that's okay. All right. Well, Eli, why don't you start now with your real one?
Okay. Do we want to 12-1 or do we want to go?
Let's go. Yeah, let's go 12-1. And you just do
I guess
12 and
our
I'll
top
do
4
12.
is easy. Top 4 is our conference champions.
Yeah, okay. Let's start there.
So top 4
champions.
conference champions. Obviously, I gave Oregon, or I gave Ohio State the edge over Oregon in our preseason stuff. I'm holding true to that. I think Georgia's the best team in the SEC. Louisville is kind of one of my. I just don't love a lot of teams in the ACC. And I think I like Louisville a lot, and I think they could have a really good season. So I'm taking a little bit of a shot with them, and then Utah. I think a lot of people fairly clear favorite for the Big 12 this year.
Yeah, I pretty much went chalk with my top 4. Like, this is pretty much.
I'm surprised you don't have
top
Oregon
4
up at 1.
Like. Yeah, so and I said it in our Big 10 preview. I don't know if you remember. I said I see this going where Oregon wins the regular season matchup, and I could see Ohio State getting them in the Big 10 championship. And so that's why I had Oregon at 1, because at the end of the regular season, I think Oregon's going to be the 1 seed in the Big 10 championship game, but I would see Ohio State winning that game in Lucas Oil. So that's my rationale for this. I think you could interchange Ohio State and Oregon, and we talked about it last week in our preview. So I also just don't want to put the juju out there of having Oregon as the 1 seed.
I totally get that.
Yeah. So
100%.
Full stop. That is part of what this is. You said it. Georgia's the best team in the SEC until proven otherwise. They're going to stay there. I think Florida State's still going to clear the ACC. Like you said, it's a weaker conference, but it's still there. And then Utah, to me, with the returning talent and especially Cam Rising, is the clear favorite in the Big 12.
Yeah. I've been getting a lot of shit about Louisville because of Tyler Shuck. Look, Tyler Shuck has a high ceiling. He's been injured a lot. That's true, but he's got a high ceiling, and we all know it. We all saw bits of it at Oregon. Also, they had Jack Plummer last year. I think Tyler Shuck is a clear upgrade there.
I agree with that.
Crazy for thinking that?
No, I agree with you.
Jack Plummer's not bad. He's not a bad quarterback. I like he obviously played really well at Louisville last year, but definitely I think Tyler Shuck is an upgrade there, at least in my opinion. So
yeah, I agree.
As long as you can stay healthy, obviously. But this is, we're basing this ranking off of preseason, and nothing's happened yet. So I'm assuming he's going to be healthy.
Fair. All right, 5 and 6, we have the same. Pretty easy telling that story.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think we even need to explain those. I think everybody kind of gets it.
Nope. The rest of this though is very different. So you have Ole Miss at 7. I have them at 10. So not too crazy there.
Not too crazy.
I think it's pretty self-explanatory, right? They've done extreme work in the portal.
Yeah,
They
were already good last year.
Already good last year. It just feels like Lane Kiffin's at that point with this program this year, especially with Bama being what Bama is, which is Nick Sabanless. It feels like the door is creaking open for them. But you have Bama at 8.
Can I be honest with you for a second?
Mm-hmm.
I totally forgot of Notre Dame's existence because they're independent.
This is
I would have Notre Dame in here if I just like I went through my list of like my power rankings and I just kept putting them in there and I just totally forgot about independence. They would be in here. I would put them probably, I don't know, like I would have to rearrange it a little bit, but I'm not really sure where I'd put them. But I just totally forgot that they were here.
Yeah, that was my one change that I made Cameron do yesterday. Full stop.
Yeah. So for me, I have Bama at 8. It's Bama, man. Like it's hard to discount them. We've seen Kalen DeBoer is a winner everywhere he went. Is he Nick Saban? No, but it's still Bama. They still have the talent. They have a great head coach. It's hard for me to leave them out of the top 10. When I mean they didn't get. I mean outside of Nick Saban, they didn't get worse, right? Like.
Right.
And who knows what Kalen DeBoer brings to the table. We saw what he did at Washington with 3 guys. Truly, like they had 3 guys on that team and they almost won a national. Well, they didn't almost win it, but like they went to a national championship game. Now he's got those 3 guys at every position. Right. So like it's hard to discount Alabama.
Yep. I mean, I can't argue with that. Clearly, if you look at my number 11, some of this is a hope and a prayer. I do not want Alabama in the first 12-team playoff. Like, that just would make my heart happy.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Like, not only did Kalen DeBoer fuck over Washington, but he also didn't bring Alabama to the biggest playoff in college football history. Yes, please.
Well, I mean, he fucked over Washington, so shouldn't we be like rooting for him now?
Yeah. Not only did you leave Washington and fuck him over, but he went somewhere and tanked the program. Like that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I see.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm going for. Not that Alabama's going to tank and Kalen DeBoer is a great coach. So,
yeah.
Don't take that out of context, people. But, again, some of it's a hope and a prayer, but I have reasoning for number 11. We'll get there.
Okay.
I have Penn State at 7. I think here's the thing, like the top 4 in the Big Ten are just so far and away better than the rest of the conference that there's just not a whole lot of room for those teams getting upset, right? Like Alabama, the rest of the SEC is coming up, right? So the SEC used to be the most top-heavy conference out there. I feel like that's less the case now, and the Big Ten is super top-heavy. So the top 4 teams, they're going to beat each other up, but that's it. And so, like, if Penn State's only losses are to Michigan and Ohio State, for example, they're going to be in the playoff.
That's totally fair. You know how I feel about Drew Aller, and I cannot believe in this team when they have
that
what
defense
I think is absolute liability at quarterback. I think
I understand
games they shouldn't. So
understood.
Yeah.
Let's see. Going on to 9, you have Clemson. This checks out with our ACC rankings. You were higher on Clemson than I was.
Yeah, this is kind of banking on development of Cade Klubnik. Again, like I find it hard to believe, and we had kind of spoken about this offline, but I find it hard to believe that the committee would leave out the top 2 in each conference. So I put Clemson in here. With Notre Dame, I might take Clemson out of this. Just because they're kind of my wing and a prayer. I would take either Clemson or Ohio State or Oklahoma State out of this. But yeah, like I'm kind of banking on the development of Klubnik, and like we've seen Dabo Swinney, when he believes in a guy, he can develop a quarterback. And so I'm kind of banking on that a little bit. We'll see.
Eli, To go back really quick to Bama, Torst was wondering, is Milroe the guy, though?
Like Milroe's not Michael Penix. I see in the chat you're talking about Michael Penix and the receivers got it done. But the supporting cast is so much better at Alabama than it was at Washington. It really can't be understated. The Michael Penix was better than Jaden Milroe. Like, that is not even a question in my mind. And like, those top two receivers are probably better than the receivers at Alabama right now. But like, everywhere else, like, the defense is going to be better on all fronts. Like, the offensive line is probably going to be better. Washington did have a pretty good offensive line last year, but they got 5-star guys at everywhere. But like,
Did you see their win-loss set at 9.5?
Huh?
Alabama's win-loss set at 9.5.
That's pretty crazy, just like in general.
First time since 2015 it's been that low.
Yeah, I'd probably take the over on that. Obviously, I'd take the over on that. But so Milroe's probably like, he's not Michael Penix, but I think he can fully lead an incredibly loaded Alabama team like to a playoff. I don't think that's super hard to argue.
I mean, he led him to a playoff last year in a 4 team.
So
right, I think that's the point. But it was Nick Saban, right? So here's my thing with Alabama, and the reason I don't have them in here, and I chose 4 Big Ten teams instead of 4 SEC teams, which is the biggest difference between us. But I don't have Alabama in here again, and it comes back to the rest of the SEC is coming up until the bottom's the bottom, right? But like Vandy's Vandy, but the rest of it's coming up, and I don't think Bama's going to be down for long and down for Alabama's 9 wins, right? Like, we're not talking about like them being a 6-6 program, but I just feel like it's going to take a year, and historically this hasn't been true, so I may be totally wrong, but I think it's going to take a year for Kalen DeBoer to adjust to what Alabama is. Like, there's just a lot that comes with being Alabama, and they haven't been through a transition like this in a long time. So I guess I'm hoping a little bit that it affects them kind of like it affects the rest of college football when they go through some turmoil. You have Oklahoma State at 10, I have Michigan at 9 is my 9. You have Clemson, obviously higher on Clemson. I have Michigan in here. They're still wildly talented. Step down from last year. Like, I don't see Michigan winning the title. But again, the top 4 in the Big Ten are just so good compared to the rest of the conference.
Yeah, I don't have Michigan in here. Again, it's kind of like the same thing with like Penn State. I just don't believe in the team really. I get your argument of like they're probably not going to lose a lot because of the rest of the Big Ten. There's something about this team. Like, they're wildly loaded still. I feel like they caught lightning in a bottle last year, and I just don't think they're going to be the same team this year.
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
All right, you've got Oklahoma State at 10. I have Ole Miss. We talked about Ole Miss.
Yeah. Oklahoma State, again, kind of going with the I kind of went with 2 teams per conference, and obviously more in the SEC. But like, I put Oklahoma State in there. I really like Ollie Gordon. I think he's the type of running back in a college game who can take a team a lot farther than it should necessarily. I think Mike Gundy is a fantastic coach. You can never count out a Mike Gundy team. It seems like last year I counted them out hard, and they came back in a really great season. So I think with a little bit of swagger, they can avoid a lot of those missteps they had last year. Why not, right?
I have Colorado in at 11, and yes, this is a homer pick, but as I talked about in the Big 12 preview, Colorado was 4-8 last year. If you look at the 8 losses, 5 of them were 1 score or less. And if you look at what they did in the offseason, and yes, there's a lot of turnover, and there can be debate until the sun goes down about how much turnover is good and how much continuity you need and whatever. You can talk about that all you want. What is almost undeniable at this point, especially through spring ball, is Colorado has improved dramatically at all of the positions that it needed to improve on. And in a conference that, in my opinion, especially at the quarterback position, is much weaker than the Pac-12 was last year, it's just hard for me to believe that there's not a significant amount more wins in that schedule with how much better the team is.
Yeah. And I Big 10 or Big 12 preview, I kind of said my piece about Colorado is like, I just don't, again, like last year, I just don't really know what to do with this team. There's just too much unknown. Like, even like the guys on paper that they got should be an upgrade, but like we see guys not paying out all the time. And like, I personally don't really believe in Deion's development yet. So that's a big question mark for me. So it's just kind of like, I'm lower, obviously lower on them than you are, but so I just didn't really know what to do with them. But here's the thing is like, I don't hate this. I don't hate them at 11. Like, it could happen. I mean, Shadur is generational for Colorado, right? And Travis Hunter is one of the best players out there.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not like, I don't hate the pick. It's just not in me. I can't like mentally.
And here's the other thing about it is their schedule is set up as difficult, right? Like, so North Dakota State's the layup, and that is not a layup.
No.
And then beyond that, it's pretty much all go, right? So if they can survive the schedule and come out with even as a 3-loss conference runner-up, I think that comes in. And, I have the ACC as the only team in here with 1 loss. I have made my feelings about the ACC known from the jump. I think that conference is absolute trash. So I think the Big 12 is the 3rd best conference, and I think they're going to get 2. So that's why I got Colorado in there. And then your last, you have Mizzou at 11 as your last.
Yeah, I really like what Eli Drinkowitz has done there. I think that they're returning a lot of guys from what was already a really good team last year and a really well-disciplined team.
Yeah.
So I think that's a pretty easy pick for me.
Yeah, I had Mizzou at 13. Like, I have them as like the first out.
Yeah.
So Eli, you've got 5 SEC teams in there. If you're adding in Notre Dame somewhere in there, you drop in an SEC team, so you're down to 4.
Oh fuck, Texas. That's right.
Fuck Texas, right?
I don't
think there's any way that 5 teams.
No,
there's just no way.
No, I would have to drop someone. I would have to like sit down. It would have to be an SEC team. It would probably be Missouri, right?
Yeah.
Like I always struggle with like format versus like what I think how good they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
The hard part is this is not my top 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. This is not my top 12. Right? Like, this is not even close to my top 12 because, but like, Missouri is going to be a really good team, but they can miss out because of just like, they don't want to put another SEC team in, which I understand. Like, this is probably like, we've been shitting on the SEC for years on like, yeah, you guys are great, but only in your top 4 teams. And then this year, I'm actually really high on the SEC as like a full conference, and it's kind of pissing me off a little bit.
It really sucks, especially with the first 12-team playoff. It's just like, seriously. Anyway,
yeah,
Chris,
so
what do you think?
I would drop.
We've made you be quiet for the last.
Well, it's because I didn't put in a ranking, because I was busy.
It's true.
But yeah, I mean, I see these. I like these playing out. I like Missouri. I like the risk on Colorado, although I think it's a risk for sure. But I'm kind of with Eli here on not trusting a post Jim Harbaugh Michigan with a lot of loss of talent as well. But it's a crapshoot, like you said. It's not necessarily your top 12. It's the way the format is and who's going to get in and how it all plays out. It's going to be really interesting. One thing that I think is for sure, and it's watching social media. There is a giant section of college football fan who, because they've played in the Pac-12 for the last decade, has no respect for how physical and how good and how well coached Utah football is.
Oh, yeah.
There is so many Big 12 schools are like, oh my gosh, the media picks them to win our conference. There's no way. They got a balance to the physicality of the Big 12. Utah, they were the most physical team in the pack. Like Kyle Whittingham's probably the best coach in the conference. Like they're going to make moves. They're going to make noise. I like the pick of Oregon because I think they're going to be at the very least a top 3 team in the Big Ten. And then there's some sleeper picks in there as well. So it's a good 12 from both of you. But I just don't know how it plays out at the end of the day. I'm excited myself to see how the first 12 team playoff. Also, I have a hard time putting Clemson in there because I think Dabo is a joke. Oklahoma State with you guys, there's a level of consistency there, even though Gundy can't go a week without putting his foot in his mouth.
Oh my God, what an idiot. I didn't bring that up when Eli was talking about it, but like
he's terrible. Like
what an idiot that
terrible.
guy is.
He went from
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yeah, he went from
did you see what he said
40,
this week?
Which was like this, like look at him taking it on the chin for his team to just being a doofus. But that one's a hard. I like Tulane. Tulane's been doing some really good things the last few years to make moves in a playoff format like this. They're a team that could definitely sneak in. So yeah, I like all these picks, guys. They're well done. The back end being mixed up though that's where it gets intriguing. Unlike you two, because you like your Colorado. I'm you guys again receipts. I do not think Shadur Sanders is that great. I think he makes too many mistakes and tries to play off of his individual talent rather than the team talent. But if Colorado sneaks in, that's huge for that program.
Yeah. Should we talk about our 12 then?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Before I get back to Mike Gundy, we'll get to that.
Yeah. So 12, I have Tulane. Like Chris kind of touched on, I really like what they've done. I think Ty Thompson was a huge get for them. It's a clear upgrade at quarterback from last year. It was already a good team.
Yep.
They have a decently easy schedule. They have a couple pretty hard games in there. They have Marshall, who's going to be a tough team. And they play Oklahoma. That's probably a loss for them, but I think they could still have a really good season. I think, especially with Ty Thompson at the helm, with how much progress he made, in the 2 years of landing. Like we were all hyped about him until we got Dylan Gabriel. We're like, oh well, that's obviously Dylan Gabriel's like our guy now, but like it's like Ty Thompson. We were like, oh yeah, he looks great. Fantastic. Like he looks like he's throwing the ball really well. So yeah, I just really like that move, and I think that really tipped me over the edge for them being the best group of 5.
Yeah, I have Liberty here, which I think is just a lazy, easy pick, but they were the best group of 5 school last year, and they don't lose a lot of talent, and they keep continuity at the positions that matter, and that conference sucks. So like I don't see Liberty really losing many games, and the reality is whichever group of 5 schools undefeated is getting into the playoff, and that's what it's going to be.
Ooh, see, I mean, Liberty plays App State. That'll be a tough game.
Right, that's tough. But App State's not quite like as great Oklahoma as they have been in the past.
Yeah,
you wait and see.
Till Chris's recruiting gets in there.
Yeah.
All right. I want to talk about Mike Gundy for a second because we brought it up. So Ollie Gordon, obviously the poster child for Oklahoma State, the sensational freshman running back last year, got a DUI last week. And he has not been suspended by Oklahoma State. And in Big 12 Media Days today, Mike Gundy was asked about it. And his answer was basically like, well, I've driven a car when I didn't know how many beers was too many, so I'm not going to fault the kid for it. That was basically his answer.
Yeah, it's weak.
So Ollie Gordon gets a DUI, not going to be suspended. It's very SEC of him.
Yeah, I mean, I like on some level, like I know, like he was like just barely over, which is like not that much, but it's still you're over. You've done it. It's a bad thing. You need to be suspended for it, right? Like,
I mean, and his true answer was like, "How are you going to punish Ollie Gordon if you're not going to suspend him?" And his answer was, "He's going to carry the ball 50 times the first game of the year," which is like that's just tone deaf.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of like at Oregon when Chip Kelly was there and Isaiah Washington got pulled over for a Dewey, flew nowhere near the limit, and he was still suspended for 3 games until they could figure it out, and then they brought him back after 2 once it was like, oh no, he was fine. And yeah, like you said, it's tone deaf, and especially his answer. Like to just be like, I'm not doing anything, or we're gonna do it internally. Like that's one thing. But yeah, he said something like, yeah, I've driven thousands of times after having 2, 3, 4 beers.
Yeah.
And it's just like, come on, dude.
Like, wrong answer. It's just not.
You had to know. You had to know that was a bad answer.
Like Chris said, he just can't go 2 months without putting his foot in his mouth somewhere.
He's an idiot.
Yeah.
Hell of a coach.
Yes.
Hell of a coach. And we talked about it last year. This job that he did at Oklahoma State to turn that around after that loss to South Alabama at home. Like, it's just one of the best coaching jobs of the year.
Yeah.
And he's just a fucking idiot.
Who did win Coach of the Year last year?
Kalen DeBoer, I think.
That's no fun. It should have been Jed Fish or Mike Gundy.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, even though I don't love Jed Fish, what he did.
I hate him now, like with my whole soul.
Yeah. Good.
Yep. All right, guys.
That's it, huh?
That's all I got. We got our college football dynasty ready to rock next week.
Just hold on for a second, okay? I've been waiting on this whole episode before we get to our buzzer beaters and all that. This was going on while we were talking to Torsten earlier, so I couldn't interrupt too much. I guess this was around 6:00 ish. Did you see on Twitter that Oregon State and Washington State held a Pac-12 Media Day today?
What?
It was called After Hours with the Beavs and Cougs, presented by the Pac-12.
I've seen something like that. It was on a different website though, and I hope it didn't go the same way.
Guys, wait! They held this at the Bellagio. Now,
so
the commissioner of the conference came out and said, "Quote: First off, there was reports that it was an open bar.
Yeah, there was an open bar.
And the commissioner came out and said, we're drinking tonight because if anyone has earned the right to drink, it's the Pac-12.
I mean, that's pretty epic. Just like
kind of badass, honestly.
Oh yeah, steer straight into the curve.
You gotta give them. I love it.
That is hilarious.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, after hours with the Beavs and the Cougs.
After hours.
Well done. Well done, Pac.
Well done. Well done indeed.
Eli, give me that riff again, but be real clear and make it last like more than 10 seconds because I'm gonna use that somewhere.
No.
Okay.
Buzzer beater. Chris, you're gonna take it.
Chris, you're taking it.
Yeah, you never get to show up to the show, so you gotta take this one. Listener, we love you. Viewer, we love you. Thank you for being here. Thanks for spending your time with us. Thanks for listening to our dumb sports takes. We appreciate you. We appreciate Zeta June for letting us use your music for free. It's pretty dope. Thanks to super producer Cam for what you've done. You up the stream a lot. We appreciate that. Thanks to Chris Burkhart, sports journalist extraordinaire, for joining the show fucking finally. And thanks to Torsten for joining us and giving us some insight into the most anticipated game in my life, maybe ever. So we appreciate all you guys. Appreciate all the work you've done for us. And yeah, Chris, hit us with that buzzer beater, my guy.
Friends, family, well-wishers. We're a football podcast mainly. We talk a lot of sports, but mainly football. I want to let you know that it's not always about the coaches and the players you see on the field. Sometimes it's about the people you see behind the scenes. Like a senior personnel executive, David Shaw of the Denver Broncos. He is an absolute phenomenal hire by them. Shout out to him. He is going to lead them to great things. In Shaw, I trust.
Freaking always something.
Deuces.
Jesus.